It's Monday again, and we are live on the tracker on City TV. Today, I'm excited about this show as perhaps anybody who's seen the artwork that we put out there. Before I was 10 years or even could think about football consciously, my guest today was already a household name. Very few have seen his exploits between the sticks, but he gets a chance to tell his story with his own words and in his own language today. But, of course, as we do always on the show, we have a motivational video for you. So we'll get into that motivational video. It's about perseverance, and I guess it aligns perfectly with our conversation and our theme on the show today. When we come back, I'll be letting you in on who we have on the tracker.
Persevere. Nothing worthwhile is easy. No one of achievement has avoided failure, sometimes catastrophic failures. But they keep at it. They learn from mistakes. They don't quit.
The key is what we do in our times of pain. Pain will change us. Heartache, loss, disappointments, they don't leave us the same. You can come out bitter, or you can come out better. You can come out defeated, giving up on your dreams, or you can come out with a new passion, a new fire, excited about the new opportunities in front of you. Don't just go through it, grow through it. That difficulty is an opportunity to get stronger, to develop character, to gain new confidence. That pain is not there to stop you, it's there to prepare you, to increase you, to develop you.
You're going to hit a wall. And that wall shocks some people. That wall stuns some people. That wall discourages some people. It's painful hitting that wall. But some people hit that wall, refuse to be denied. This person comes back anyhow, again and again and again. And then if you keep on hitting that wall, here's what happens to you, that you will have an incredible breakthrough. And it's as if the universe says, let's help him out. Come on. I admire that kind of tenacity. Let's give her a hand. This person doesn't care about the pain because this person knows something. There's no gain without pain.
Everybody talks positive about themselves. Everybody talks like you a beast. You dress like you a beast. But then when it's time to do what beasts do, you back up. You have an excuse. Innovation is rewarded. They give you a plaque for it. They give you a reward for it. But execution is worshipped. Listen to me, there's no excuse. And what will separate those of you from the rest is not what they give you. What's going to separate you is what you do. Listen to me very closely. I want you to know there's only one equation that's missing. There's only one thing you cannot purchase. There's only one thing you cannot buy, and that's what real beasts do.
I ain't smart, but the difference between me and most people is you might be sweeter than me. You might be bigger than me. You might grind. Listen to me, I don't know. You might have money. I don't know where you come from, but you will not outwork me. Every single time. This is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm going to take it back.
Perseverance will definitely take you places, and it's the reason why Ali Jarrah is right here in front of me today. Ali, it's good to have you on the tracker.
Thank you, my brother.
What have you been up to? What have you been up to? Every time I hear the name Ali Jarrah, what I can think about is legendary goalkeeper. I was too young to watch your playing days, but really, where did your journey to greatness start from?
I think I came from Mamplobi. That's where everything started. I played football. I started football from a coast team called Fatah Babies. That's where I started from. And from there, through Coast Festival, I was graduated to Starlets.
Tell me a little bit about that journey. I mean, you made it sound very smooth from Fatah to the Justifiers and then on to the Starlets. But give me a bit of detail about how you ventured into goalkeeping, even for starters, because I know that a lot of footballers start off as outfield players and then eventually stumble on goalkeeping, or they are converted to goalkeepers. Is that what it was like for you? Or
Yes, exactly. That's what happened. I started as number 6 player, as Fatah Baby's player, which I went over there. They saw something in me that, no, playing is not, I'm not too familiar with playing, but my real position is goalkeeping. Because, you know, at first, before training starts, we come in time, we learn our balls, we do shootings, and I will be in post. Maybe the manager was sitting behind watching me, and he saw that, no, let's try him and see. And I went into the post. I think I was better than playing.
I mean, at what point did you feel as if you were good enough to go professional? I know that the Starlet scouts and coaches usually come around and try and do some hunting for the next generation of footballers or the next generation of professionals, but within yourself, at what point did you believe that, you know what, I'm good enough to be on the national stage like this person I've been watching or that person I've been watching?
You know, the journey started at the time I was in course. I was regular with fire service in departmentals. And by then, departmentals at the Indava Park, all the stars, all the premiership players plays over there. And it reached sometimes I was asked to choose between course and departmentals.
Okay.
You know of my height. Whilst I was very young, I have a good height, so I started with the big people, Ofe and Sons, Samson Lantes, and others, because I will be behind the post, they will be playing their shootings, and so the journey started right from Greater Accra, which I was called into Greater Accra in '89. Okay. And Greater Accra won.
Were you born in Greater Accra?
Yes, okay. Born and bred.
Oh, okay. Mamplobi boy?
Mamplobi boy,
nice.
Yeah. So we won the National Coast Festival, which we were picked from there. That's where Oseko Force and Diaz were picked.
Who was doing the selection at the time, and who was doing the picking for the Starlets at that point?
I think by then it was Coach Okwai.
Okay.
You know, we base in Complex, that's where we train. And that's where the National Under-17s, the Scotland 89 group was camping. So they spotted me over there to our training section, and we played our final games against Starlets, which we were beating 6 by then. But my performance was perfect. So they came and watched. And you know, through the festivals, they have sports council coaches around all the regions.
That representatives just watching you.
So they did the scouting, and I was told I've been picked to Starlets. That's where the journey starts. So
you didn't participate in the Scotland 89 competition?
No.
But then it was that competition that gave you your big break?
The privilege to join.
So wait, so even before Accra Hearts of Oak, you had already been discovered by the junior national team?
Yes.
Now tell me about how you ended up with Accra Hearts of Oak. Give us a little sense of where they saw you and how the signing process was like.
You know, it was from the departmentals.
Okay.
They saw me. Because each and every good player who sees his colleague
will recommend you too.
And at the time they realized that I am in Starlets. That's where they started chancing me. At that time, Accra Great Olympics too wanted me to sign for them.
Interesting.
Because Fire Service played with Accra Great Olympics, and they saw me, and they thought they were training at the Fire Service training school.
Okay.
So they started approaching. Before I saw that, oh no, there are young boys there. What can we do? So they approached me, and then Thomas Quay was the team manager.
At House of Oak at the time.
Busy now. So I was called between me, Benadayi, and Khalil Dramani.
Okay.
Because they went to Starlets and they came, and House of Oak needed them, so I was inclusive. We went there, then went to Bright Akwite's place, and we were signed. And by then it was 15 Ghana cedis.
Well, you were signed for 15 Ghana cedis. That was your transfer fee.
That's my
from
transfer.
departmentals to Accra Hearts of Oak.
No, from the coast to.
Also, which coach team was this?
Fatah.
Fatah. So
currently,
you moved directly.
Mighty Victory, Stephen Appiah's
coach team. Okay.
We were all from the same.
So you moved from there for 15 cedis to Accra Hearts of Oak.
Yes.
Now these days, there's a lot of fanfare with Twitter and jersey unveilings and stuff like that. What was the process like? Did they come to your house? Did they give you a token to show that you had been signed? What was that like?
I think the funny thing was, we were, by then, no, it would be a queue at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Interesting.
Then the registration started.
Okay.
Everybody will show up, its best players, for people to see that this is our new signing. So supporters troop into Accra Sports Stadium to watch their new signing.
Oh, okay.
And it reaches my turn. I was in national team. It reaches my turn to be registered, and the team manager then called me and he said, the management said you should hold on because you are too small. Go and take Macho.
You are kidding?
Yes, that's what I was told.
Was that like a joke or they were serious?
They were serious.
So they didn't give you a contract at the time?
By then, no. But each and every time, as we broke camp at Pram Pram, myself, Sabatia Barnes, and Kofi Nimo, we are our Accra Sports as of folk players. So we will come, then join the team and go back. But I asked myself, did Macho play football? But life is challenging. You must challenge yourself. You must accept whatever comes your way. So I said to myself, okay, because by the time I was from Starlets, the goalkeepers I met was only Premiership goalkeepers. I was the only coast goalkeeper without even gloves.
Wow.
I borrowed someone's boot before because at the time we were playing,
we played barefooted?
No, barefooted. So I went there. Each and every time we come, we play friendly matches on Friday, then selection will be made, then we go to camp. We come back, then move to Winneba. One day, Accra Suffolk against Advanced Stars friendly match after 6 months, which Abba Caesar was imposed. Moffat supposed to replace him. I went and warm up Moffat and came back to sit down at the second half. The supporters said, no, this is the small boy's turn. You should use him.
Had they seen you before? Had the supporters seen you at maybe like training or something of the sort before?
Yes, because I was training with the team. But you knew they wanted me to at least each and every time I do warm up at bench, the three goalkeepers. So why shouldn't they try the small boy and see? Because it's just
and it was a friendly match too.
And it wasn't just a friendly match because every Friday that's where the coach names his first 11. So everybody wants to show off. And non-registered, you know, at that time now there is no limit to a registration. So I went in, imposed. At that time I saw that that's my Santa Claus, which has come. I made 3 saves. I saved a penalty in that second half. I was registered on Friday. Sunday, House of Oak against Kumapim, Ali Jarrah #1. That's how my journey started.
Wow, that's very mind-blowing, because again, I've been talking to a lot of coaches who were working back in the day, and they seem to also marvel at the fact that you moved basically from Fatal Stars straight to House of Oak, because a lot of the guys had to go through the mill 5-4 coach teams before making it. Now, when you look at yourself at Accra House of Oak, what do you think your standout attribute as a goalkeeper was at the time, and what made you such a standout person over the rest of your peers?
I think I would say you talk about perseverance. Number one is the respect key I have. So everybody in camp, I met a young boy like Ali Jarrah by then can never be in House of Oak post.
You should have been, what, 15 years at the time?
Yes.
Wow.
A young boy, because you know by then the goalkeepers in post are ageless goalkeepers, which scouts, Nana being, etc. They are very tough, Salif and Sons, and a small boy like me. No. So I was the first pace setter who came to Premiership to start being post, whereby allowed the younger generation to be in the Premiership by then. Because Osei Kojo was ahead of me by then, but Kotoko never uses him in the big matches. Odun's, Eddie and Sons, and the other goalkeepers they were using because they wanted the matured goalkeepers. But I will say, one, I'm lucky. Two, I learned very fast. And I trained, I was young, I trained more than the senior goalkeepers.
I've seen very few snippets of your videos, but I can tell you that your diving was exceptional. You were so athletic and so flexible that I couldn't believe that somebody could actually leap from one end of the post to the other end with such ease. But then tell me about becoming a household name in Ghana, because at this point it looks like the 92-93 season you basically exploded, and then there was no looking past you as far as picking a goalkeeper was concerned. Tell me about that moment. What sort of guidance did you get? What was your most memorable game in that season when you swept basically every award?
I would say I was very lucky to meet Salif Ansa.
Okay.
Salif Ansa gave me my first gloves to wear at the Premiership, because at the time I was in Starlets, I don't have a gloves.
Wow. The national team didn't give gloves at the time?
They do give gloves, but you will train and you will be picked before
you needed
giving
to earn
you,
it.
Yes. Getting closer to a tournament before you have a gloves. But giving me a qualified gloves to wear is Salif Ansa. And I've been under Salif Ansa, which is a time for him to be imposed. He will tell all the management members that, no, this boy, I have seen something in him, use him.
Who was Hearts of Oak coach at that time?
At that time, it was Jimamwa, before we had Peter Gavrila, a white man.
Okay. Interesting. Now, like I was mentioning, talk to us about your most memorable game back then. Did you play? You played against Asante Kotoko back in the day. What was the rivalry like back then?
I think that the first time I was on bench and Salif Ansa was in post, that was in 91, 92 season.
Yeah.
Which we went to Angola, which we were accused of stealing bedsheet and towels. And we came to Accra and imagined playing against Asante Kotoko.
Yeah.
That was my first time seeing a crowd. And I asked myself, while Salif Ansa was in post, I asked myself, if I was given a chance, can I? Because the crowd I saw, I've never met such a crowd before. And you know, playing against House of Oak and Kotoko at Kumasi, and something has happened which we were accused of stealing bedsheets and towels. You could see the sports stadium painted with red, with bedsheets and everything.
The Kotoko fans came to taunt you.
And we came back. But I could say that. That's why the writer named me the Lionheart. Because they never thought a young boy like me can be imposed against Kotoko, which I would be extraordinary. Because I remember, I can say, in Kumasi I've been imposed, which we've beaten Kotoko twice. But the second one, I think it's like Ali Jarrah against Asante Kotoko. It was 2-1, which we scored the first goal.
This was in Kumasi or Accra?
It was in Kumasi. We scored the first goal by Masao Donada, and Benadai scored the second goal. And the pressure on us Throughout maybe 70 minutes
Yeah.
was only saves.
Wow.
I came back home and I felt sick.
You're kidding?
Yes, that's where I was carried in Kumasi and everybody thought there's something. That year was the year I was able to win Football Most Exciting Player, Football Prospect, Swag Best Player. Because I've been the only player in Ghana to swap our awards, and a goalkeeper as well. So I was. And when you talk about my best game, I think I'll pick under 17 Ghana against Egypt.
Oh.
In Egypt. Which what you were talking about happened.
This is
I can't
1991.
That was 93.
93, Japan.
Yeah, before we qualified to Japan.
Oh, the AFCON,
qualified.
the championships, the
Yeah.
African Youth Championships.
No, they qualified. By then there was no championship.
Oh, there was no championship. So you play a qualifiers and then make it
after
into.
You qualified. But I think that much, because I stood and that place at that time, El Ali and Zamalek were holding huge amount of dollars to sign me. Which I refused because I had a contract to go to FC Cologne. And they were chasing us in the hotel. But when we talk about the local league, I think I would say that's the match against Kotoko in Kumasi 2-1.
Quick one on the El Ali and Zamalek business. Were you keen on joining at the time? Were you excited to go to El Ali at the time? Or to Egypt generally at the point?
You know, I would say I'm one of the luckiest guys in football because I was a goalkeeper. At the time I joined Asofok, at the time I started, in 91-92 season, I have a contract I have a chance to move to Liverpool. Liverpool came all the way from, send journalists from all the way from England to interview me over here. I had a chance, if anyone at all in Europe in 93 season, I had an advert with Ian Wright, which was shown in the United Kingdom for a long time. And that's where people accept me to be a footballer at the time I got sick and I was hospitalized, because they were watching me, my advert. Edaki can never had an advert with Ian Wright, a Nike advert, which they came to Ghana to shoot the video. So I knew there is a chance ahead of me.
What happened to that Liverpool move? How did it fizzle out? How did you not end up going to Liverpool?
At that time, juveniles can never sign a contract by then. But they had a chance, they came, they interviewed me, and that was my first major interview. I couldn't even speak English because I was so panicked.
Yeah.
So I had an interpreter who interprets whatever at the Labadevich Hotel. So I knew there is a chance ahead of me.
Now, I also picked up about your famous botched move to FC Cologne. Accra Hearts of Oak preventing you from joining FC Cologne at a time when they were seriously pursuing you and were really interested in getting your signature. Talk to me about that situation. What happened and how did that move eventually not materialize?
You know, by then you don't have a phone. A phone is, you move to maybe post office or one office or a residential place. So they always speak with Accra Sport Folk. And we've qualified to play Champions League. And Hearts of Oak refused for me not to move to the
to FC Cologne.
To Cologne. I should wait and play Kotoko and play 2-3 matches before I move.
Wow.
And the week they allowed me to go, that was the sad moment of my life.
Interesting. So you don't feel as if it was Hearts of Oak that prevented, they actually wanted you to play some key games for them because they thought that you were a key player. Interesting. Let's speak about your time with the national team. We'll come to that moment, that very pivotal moment of your life. Tell me about 1991, becoming the first Ghanaian under-17 team to win a gold medal. I looked at some of the players who made it out of that competition, not just from Ghana, but from other parts of the world. I'm like, that was really a great group of guys. What was special about your 91 group, and what are some of your best memories from that particular competition?
I think we have all-round team, which we started 2 years before the tournament.
Yeah.
So we knew each other very well. And one funny thing which happens to us in Morocco as our last qualified match.
Yeah.
That was the Gulf War by then.
Okay.
Has started. So it was the time we trained over there in Casablanca, the weather over there, none of us has ever met such weather before. It was very cold. And it takes Olodate, Isaac, and Yaoprek, who they were in Europe, so they understand the weather. We are about to dress up and go to the stadium to play our final match, and the news broke up that due to the Gulf War, it was match off. We started jubilating. That's where the jubilation started from. And we were lucky to went to Germany for trials, the training tour for over 2-3 months. So we acclimatized, we studied the weather, we played a lot of trial matches. And the confidence in some of our players are very high, because
like who
Odatelamte, Yaopreku, Isaac has tasted
Europe before they knew what it was
and
like.
the under-17 tournament before, because we were lucky to play 2 times. And after Odate and Yao, Sebastian Barnes was at the tournament to at least understand what is going on. Kevin Asian was there to understand the 89 squad. And you see Gago, Daniado, Willie Brown, Alessopoko are extraordinary players.
True.
So playing with such confidence of such caliber of materials, the talents are there. And the confidence led, we were built up. We knew we can win the cup because we scored Germany under-17 6-0 in our trial match. So, and we start building up match by match, match by match, before we were able to reach the ultimate against Spain.
I remember that at that time, Ben Owu was the goalkeeper, the main goalkeeper, and then you were the sub. Otto Pfister was the coach at that point too. Now, he spoke to us not too long ago, I think a couple of weeks ago. What was it about Otto Pfister that made him a great manager? Somebody who went on to win the under-17 and then the next year took Ghana to the AFCON final. From where you stood, what are some of the great attributes that modern day coaches from now can learn from Otto Pfister back in the day?
Otto is a teacher, is a father, and is everything. He came to Africa to understand us. He knew what we are about. He knew that what is in us. He encourages you and tell you what to do. He will never shout on you. So you do your own thing. And he allows you to flow.
Interesting. Talk to me about Neo Odate Lamptey. Otto Pfister expressed some disappointment about Odate Lamptey. He says that when he watched Neo Odate Lamptey back in 1991, he felt that he was good enough to have gone on to conquer the world, be a top 3 player in the world among his peers. But due to some decisions he made with agents and whatnot, it didn't turn out well for him. Did you, at that point, look at Neo Odate Lamptey like somebody who could go all the way and become the best in the world? And when you look back at his career now, how do you feel about it?
He did what he could have done. You know, we must commend Ni. He played very well with Anderlecht. He played very well. He was a goalkeeper with PSG in Holland before he moved to England. That's where the problem starts. And you know, in Ghana here, what we are doing, we are just doing it.
How do you mean?
We are into sports and nothing else. Nobody teaches us what to do, when to do, and where to do it. So we are just doing what we have to do. And Odate was the father of the juveniles because he was the first person to travel to give the younger generation a chance. By then it was only Abedi and Tony Ali Ibrahim, principally, who has traveled and played outside. And when maybe Otto felt disappointment in Ni, no, there was no guidance. Nobody guides Ni at the time he was in his peak. Secondly, Ni went and met Argentala, Effenberg. Look at the top European stars by then.
Yeah.
Would a coach allow Daki to be his best? No. The race starts from then, not now. But now, people are seeing what is going on. So Date had so many problems in him. But he was able to play more than 12, 13 years.
True.
Although we met one player in Spain at the under-17 who is better than Rahul.
Wow.
But Rahul made the grade more than him. So there are certain times...
things happen in a player's journey.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit also about Japan and then Australia. By then, I think you had become first choice then, and you were among the best. But we didn't win those competitions. We ended up with 2 silver medals. How did it feel like? I mean, after being the reserve goalkeeper, watching your compatriots win the competition, and then getting the opportunity to be the main guy and not being able to come home with gold then?
I think in Australia we were cheated.
Australia, the final was against Brazil. 2-1, we lost that game.
Which Gago was tripped.
Yeah.
And they had the equalizer. That's what demoralized us. Because a tournament like in 91, in the semi-final against Brazil, we were at the dressing room where they came with a slip. You know, after a tournament has its own rules. So after you were beaten, the very night you must move. So we're in a room and they came with a slip that after the tournament we will lose, so we have to pack and move.
You are kidding?
Yes.
This was from the organizers of the competition?
That's what it was from the organizers. The same as Brazil, because the favorite was Brazil.
So they had already ruled you out before even the game?
Yeah. So many things goes around behind football. But I think I can say that because in Australia we thought it's done deal. Because the level of the standard is very well, and each and every match. You know, we were slow at our preliminaries. But after we climbed to the quarter semi-final, we were playing better than all of the tournament. But I think against in Japan 93, which we thought Nigeria are no match for us.
Wow.
Because we want each and every match. We lost only against Nigeria. So we thought Nigeria wasn't performing well. But playing against the blacks, we knew Nigeria, Ghana, it's more than a World Cup. It goes beyond football. And they were determined more than us. And they scored the kicking by then, or throwing, instead of throwing, it was kicking. They had an early goal under 3 minutes or so.
They had some great players in that team. They had Nwanko Kanu, they had Celestine Babayaro, Babangida, Golson Oruma. Yeah, they had a really solid team back then. Again, when you looked at that final, I look at the picture that was displayed when you won the final. You actually took the podium with the Nigerians and you clapped to the fans, you waved. You didn't seem like a team that had been defeated. Tell me about that emotion, about accepting defeat at such a heavy stage where most people would break down in tears and not even congratulate their opponents? What was the mindset behind that entire sequence?
You know, we were young. We were told after the game we must embrace that everybody wave the crowd. But all of us was in tears.
So you
all
were,
of us.
while you were being sportsmen, you were still crying.
Yes, if you could, they could show the excerpts of the final. The flowers which was given to me, after collecting, I threw it away. And
Wow.
we came to Ghana, and Gago came to me at the airport. He picked me at the airport and he told me, "Samudi akoche, yakofa diaba momo ko yamudi akoche."
Wow.
We were all crying because
Wow.
we knew this is our life. And some of us, taking it for the second time, it will be a plus for us. Because we had a chance, I had a chance to play in 3 Juvenile World Cup.
Yep.
1 under 20 African Cup,
Yeah.
which we won as well. So we had a privilege, but there are certain times we must accept whatever comes our way.
Were there issues with player bonuses at the time? Were there like promises made to you that if you win this competition, we'll give you a car, a house, this amount of money? Did those things happen at that time, especially after 91 and then Japan 93?
Nah. The president then, Rawlings, told us, go and win, and when you come, I'll give you something. It's just verbal talk.
He didn't even specify what exactly would be given.
That's it. So I will not say that we own, someone owns us. No. We went and placed our hearts out. And at that time, there was no winning bonuses. Maybe a per diem, or they decide to give. And what you get is about $100 when you win a match. The money which goes up, which we saw that we had a huge amount. The tournament, the tournament fees, which goes up to $500 by then. That's what you have, and you knew that you've gone to a tournament where you've had something very huge. But our time, we don't play for money. We play for the nation. Because you had over 200 to 300 players, which 22 were selected.
Yeah.
So you have, even, you are very happy to be among the national team and play for club level.
I read somewhere an article with quotes from you that the current group of Black Stars players have every right to demand remuneration or rewards or money to play for the national team because the national team sometimes does not reward you when things go south in your career. You still stand by that fact that players, unlike what some people say, it's patriotism and the nation does a lot for you. You still stand by the fact that players should be paid and they deserve to be paid when they play for the national team?
Yes, players need to be paid before they play for the national team. Football is a seasonal job. We played, and at the end of our career, it's over. Nobody reminds you. Unless, let me say, I always commend the media, unless the media who remembers what you've done for the nation, like how I'm sitting down here today. It's only the media who remembers what we've done for the nation. Ministers passing out, going and coming, without even knowing that you've done something for the nation. So, whilst we have no social security, we have no insurance, we are playing a seasonal job. It's a risk job.
Sure.
I will pick 3 as an example. Shamokwet played for national team. He died along the line. Who cares about his family? Nobody. Reverend Jose Kofi played for the national team. 3 Olympian, won 2 African Cup of Nations. After his career, he has nothing. No social security, no insurance, nothing. And I take myself as an example. I got paralyzed. After I came from Japan 93, nobody knew what happens. At the end of my career, what happens? 17 years, I got paralyzed. If it's 20-something years to date, 27 years
27
to date,
years actually.
Which nobody cares about my life. Nobody cares about what I eat. How can I feed my children, which I was in my prime for national team, which I wore the national jersey. I took the jersey out and I got paralyzed. It started from England, which everybody who went to the tournament knew. I have to sacrifice for the nation, which none of the ministers, which has come generation to generation, knows even where I stay. A street has been named Jarrah Street, which maybe you will go to house. At the time the street has been named through your name. And you will go, maybe going to office to search for, beg for money to feed your children. Isn't that an insult? So if the present generation sees what is going on with me, won't they charge before? They will. One of our defenders who got, the leg was broken in Holland. Our defenders in the World Cup.
Jerry Akamenko.
Yeah. Where is Jerry Akamenko? He got injured at the time the national team was in camp. No insurance, nothing. So if you charge and your time is over and you are struggling on the street, you know you charge, you work and you've been paid, so you have to use that money to take care of yourself. But we are in a country where after football, it's like
you're left on your own.
Pushing you in the desert without water to die slowly. That's Ghana.
That's very deep. I'll come back to that when we talk about your situation. Let's just quickly touch on winning an AFCON. You're one of the few people who have tasted what winning is like. Won under 17, picked up silver medals, won under 20 AFCON. If you could give advice to CK Akono now on how to approach the next AFCON based purely on what you have seen as an insider, what will it be?
I think CK needs support. The materials are already there. He needs support. And through prayers and doing the right and picking the right materials, I think Ghana will break that jinx.
When you say support, can you just expand on that briefly for me?
You know, CK has been picked to coach Blasters.
Yeah.
The trust and belief in him, that's why he was given the nod. So nobody should give pressure on him, telling him what to do.
Yeah.
He should do his own thing. When failure comes, he knew that I did it and failed. But we don't do it and fail. He should pick his best team. He had a best technical team to support him. Through Coach Duncan, who is more experienced.
Yeah.
He should tell the players to play their heart out. They should play for CK, not for the nation. They should see CK Akono as former Blasters player who has been given the nod to play for him, for themselves. I think we are going to win the next AFCON because we've already have everything.
Very, very inspiring words there. Ali Jarrah has been taking us through his career right from where he started his coach football, playing in the Junior World Cups for Ghana and whatnot. When we come back, we'll get deeper into the situation that has led him to go on to set up an academy, has led him to go on to do work for amputee football and whatnot. Stay right here on the tracker. We have more information and more juice coming. Welcome back to the tracker here on City TV. We are still talking to former Hearts of Oak and Ghana goalkeeper Ali Jarrah. Ali, let's now get into that pivotal moment in your career. You mentioned that you came back from Cologne and then you were just paralyzed from the waist down. You couldn't get back to your feet to do what you loved. Now, I have had my own conspiracy theories about what happened. And I mean, no offense meant, but there are stories that said that you were having an affair with somebody and that somebody put black magic on you and all kinds of things. But talk to me about when the situation happened. Just give me a description of when it happened, what your mind state was like at the time.
I think a week I have to travel to Germany and I started feeling back pain just immediately after the tournament. 3 days, I was admitted at the hospital. I woke up from bed. I could really see that from down, waist coming downwards. I couldn't raise the leg. Everything was off. That's how it started. Just 1 week, back pain and off. Like you were saying, I had so many
conspiracy theories.
Yeah, but you know, people talked about we footballers, women, medicine, and others. But what happens to me, it takes only 1% to survive out of 100. So if I've survived from the 100%, I have to thank God because it shows God is in my side.
Were you ever given any medical reasons by your doctors on what could have gone wrong?
I was took to United Kingdom. I met best doctors in the United Kingdom. Nobody knew what happens to me.
Wow. And till today, how do you feel about it whenever you reminisce about the whole situation? How do you feel about it?
I am a type which I give everything to God. What happens to me, I was crying, but I woke up one day because I went through a lot of counseling.
Yeah.
I woke up one day and I said, no, I have to live with it till the end of my life. So I have to accept it and find a new way to start a new life.
Well, you did start a good life. You're looking well now. And I know that you had an academy that trained close to 400 goalkeepers at the time. What's going on with that project as we speak now?
The project is still there because it's for free. I have to give society what society has given me because Ghanaians have prayed so much so for me. So what I knew best, I have to put it into practice whereby I can teach. And I can boast of a lot of goalkeepers who has passed through me, who has been Folid Ade, Joseph Ham, Mutare Tegos, Kujuados, Raymond Fenny.
Wow. That's a
Lord
good stock of
Quote,
goalkeepers.
A lot, Samia Jays and all that. So I've given back what society has given me. So I've done a lot for Mother Ghana. They've all, Abiba Suleimani, Patricia Mantes, they've all passed through the academy.
Wow. Wow.
And I went to persons with disability, which I am training them. I am currently national goalkeeper for amputees, a national coach for amputees. I went and met, I think, 18 or 14 players. I was able to convince players. We've started league. We've had over 300 players which we've brought from the street to teach them how to play football. I've been able to help them. We have 16 players who have traveled to Turkey playing professional now.
Wow.
So what God has given me, I don't sit alone with it. I have to give it to the youth coming.
You seem to have picked yourself up from your dark days. Is there any career regret you have? Anything you wish would have happened in your career that didn't happen for you?
I think the early days, I don't understand what has happened to me. But now I knew God is using me through a lot of things to help the generation coming. And I'm most grateful. I've never regretted to be off football or what happens to me. Because each and every time I'm doing something new, those who are playing, those who are active, but those who played more than 20 years, 10, 15 years, my name is still reigning more than them. I
still think you're the greatest goalkeeper to come out of this land, regardless of how long you stop playing. Tell me about Betway and working with the 12th man team. I know they've been doing a lot of things for different people, depending on what you are into. What have you been getting some help on with regards to bettering yourself as far as the 12th man project is concerned?
I think we knew we are celebrities by then. But through the Betway 12 man project has let us know we are brands. That alone is a major key for us. We are brands, and how to package our brands well, how to execute it outside. And I think we can say it, picking an entrepreneurship, like we are brands. We can solve our own problem. We can go in like assessing ourselves, knowing ourselves, knowing what to do. Because entrepreneur creates his own job, markets it. We are there to do that. We learned so much so whereby we never knew there is something ahead of us which we can do to support ourselves. Like crisis management. Crisis management is a form of our lives. We've already broken our pots. How can we bring out the pieces through Betway initiative to at least bring it up and do something meaningful out of it? That's what we've done. And I think that Betway 12 man project has yielded a lot. It has taught us what to do and how to do. Like the W's, when, how, and when to do it. So you move and talk about your brand, how to sell the brand well. And I person, it has helped me a lot because I work with persons with disability, which they knew that all is lost. So through the Betway initiative, going up there, telling people what to do and how to package themselves, I think it's like helping us. It has helped.
It's a great initiative. Finally, before we wrap up this conversation, when you are a goalkeeper, you obviously admire other goalkeepers. Who are your top 3 goalkeepers to watch these days?
Top 3 goalkeepers?
Top 3. You can only name 3 to watch these days.
It will be a problem for me.
Not locally, not for anywhere. It could be mixed up.
No. The local, I will pick Parkway's Indian's goalkeeper, Razak or something.
Razak Abalora?
No,
Elmina Sharp's goalkeeper.
Elmina Sharp's goalkeeper, who is performing very, very well. I pick Ban Kotoko.
Okay,
Kwame Ban. Because coming out from the tournament, overshadowing
Felix
Annan shows how wonderful you are. Then I think the Tottenham goalkeeper, the France guy,
Hugo Lloris. Hugo Lloris is your guy. Fantastic. I like that. So you have 3 goalkeepers there for Ali Jarrah. He says he's got Kwame Ban in there. Hugo Lloris is also in the mix. So you heard the man himself break down the story, giving you the details that you perhaps would never have stumbled upon. Same time next week, the tracker will be back on City TV. Keep watching.